Thanks for joining us today.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
So we're very excited to hear your thoughts for the day. Topic is really interesting. Find your wild. So I want you to please express your thoughts for the day and go ahead with your speech.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just a quick introduction about me. I am Emma Burdett. I am the founder of Wild, which is a platform for women, both existing and future leaders. It stands for Women in Leadership Deliver, and I'm also a transformational coach, which helps women step into their greatness. So what I'd really like to do today is talk about the importance of gender balance. Why do we have gender-based initiatives? What are the benefits of diversity, which is, extremely topical right now. Everyone is talking about, diversity and getting more women into leadership positions. And also how I conquered my own fears and challenges to find Wild. So the importance of gender-based initiatives is that there is actually a social and moral cause for empowering women. So women make up half of the world's population, yet we are held back in a multitude of ways. And, what we know is that women are only make up 16% of leadership positions, only 3 to 4% in the C-suite. And actually, there's more white male men called John in the C-suite than there are actual women, which I think is shows you that there really is a problem with women getting them into the leadership roles and staying there. So in terms of gender balance, there's been a lot of studies done on this. Not only does it improve our economic state and contribute to the global GDP, it contributes to our societies and our economy. So, there are lots of benefits to adding women into those leadership positions. So I'd like to really go into what motivated me to really inspire and want to take women to the next level. So I'm British, I live in Dubai, and a number of years ago I used to sell software in London. And I remember I had this big meeting at a very, very large organisation, and I went in quite young, quite naive, and there was a gentleman there who I was going to meet, who refused to shake my hand and was looking behind me and asked, was I alone? Because he thought that I was going to be with a man. So I didn't really notice at the time that he was sort of acting a bit awkward because I was a woman. And I started going into my sales patter as to why this software would be amazing for the business. And he actually threw me out of his office for being just a silly girl, and what did I know for being a woman? So quite shocking story. I remember standing in Mayfair in London, really upset, really hurt. And I think there has all been a time perhaps where we have faced inequality or discrimination on some level. And it's very damaging to anybody. I then went on to have quite big confidence issues and those feelings of not enough. So that's really where my passion started, thinking I personally never wanted to experience that again. And I didn't want any other women to go through those feelings of being inadequate. So I then went through various roles. And one of my jobs in Dubai, I was asked to set up a women's empowerment platform, and I had some close connections with women in leadership. And this is sort of way before diversity and gender balance was as topical as what it is now. So I set up a small group. It started with 4 women and a sheet of paper. And it really was, you know, a CSR initiative. And I give a lot of these talks now, and there's 2 things that I always say is that diversity and gender balance is not just a trend. It's not just a tick in the box. We need to live and breathe the culture of what diversity is. And secondly, men need to do their part. Men are advocates and engineers of change for women. Plus, more women need to support other women. You know, I see too much judgment, too much comparison, and too much jealousy. So back to the story or the keynote, I set up this small network. It got a lot of traction. We were doing amazing work with the local universities. A large part of it was to inspire younger females and to really act as role models, because there are few women in leadership, there are fewer role models, which can be part of the problem. So subsequently, the network grew to about 15, and it got a lot of recognition, a lot of success. And subsequently, my boss in the business and co-worker didn't like the success of this network. I went on to face significant workplace challenges and ended up losing my job. So it's quite ironic, seeing as I'd actually done something good for the business. Now, if you're a woman out there and, you know, my story resonates with you, I would love to hear from you. I think that when we go through situations like this, it can cause a lot of feelings of shame and also, knocking your confidence levels. I very open about this, but I suffered with mental health issues, anxiety, all of those things that come with having those challenges in the workplace. I then went to Thailand for my very own version of Eat, Pray, Love. If any of you have seen the book, read the book or watched the movie, it's a fantastic thing to watch. But in my own version, there was lots of eating, lots of praying, and not much loving. So I knew that I'd done something really incredible with this first women's network, and actually that there was scope in the Middle East region to do something on a wider scale. So I remember being in Thailand, burnt into cash. I hadn't worked for 6 months. I was so vulnerable and scared and had to really face my own fears, which I'm very proud of that I've now overcome. But I remember one morning getting my final no from a job offer. And I had a complete, utter breakdown. And I remember hitting my knees and I prayed for a miracle. Now, whether you are spiritual or religious or whoever your God or Allah or the universe, I really, really believe that we need to have faith. And, I had faith. I knew that there was going to be light at the end of the tunnel. And I'd been having some spiritual healing. And the lady had said to me at the time to look for the butterfly. It speaks of change and joy. And I remember thinking, what a load of old rubbish. And anyway, I had my breakdown and I was vulnerable and, crying and it was just sheer desperation. And I went outside to the breakfast hall, and there were tons of butterflies everywhere, and they were all on my arms. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, you know, is this the change? Is this the joy that I have been looking for? And I felt very aligned. You know, the last speaker spoke about alignment, and I felt very connected, very aligned. I then went to the breakfast hall and I picked up a random magazine, and there was an article about gender balance and a big statement which said, if you have the platform to make a difference, you should use it. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to go back to Dubai and I'm going to build this women's platform for me, by me. And I'm going to call it Wild because, you know, I was personally fed up of going to events that were very sterile and very contrived. And I wanted to create something which was about authenticity, about freedom, about voice, about expression, and creating a sense of belongingness. And I was compelled to write Wild from scratch, which I did. The very first event in July 2018, there were 150 women, and Wild has gone on to do incredible work. And, you know, I've also had events where we opened it up to include the men. And it was an amazing, beautiful tapestry of different race, ethnicity, culture, and religion. Because, you know, diversity is all of us together, and it is actually a celebration of one another's uniqueness. So I urge all of you to let's come together to break down the barriers and the social norms. Let us be role models paving the way, and let's all be the change that we wish to see. And lastly, I leave you with this. May you conquer your challenges, transform your fear into faith, and may you all find your wild. Thank you.
Joining us, and I guess Wild and Berkeley Me should work together for a better women development and exchange the expertise in the future. I thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to see you more in future.
Sure, thank you very much for having me, and I urge anyone who would like to join, who is looking for transformation, to please get in touch.
That's amazing. So